Hey, have you ever wondered why blue is so prominent in the Bible? Why is God's throne described as sapphire? And why is the high priest's robe with deep blue? Sorry. Why is the sky itself declares his glory? Today, we're uncovering the powerful spiritual meaning of the color blue and how using it in worship, especially with praise and worship flags, can shift the atmosphere around you and you'll never look at color the same way again. All this right after the bump. Hi, I'm Andrea York with Catch the Fire Worship Flags. This Fan into Flame live stream is your place to become the worshiper God is looking for. Inspired by John 4:23, we explore every kind of worship-related topic to worship in spirit and in truth. And if you're a creative worshiper, like this video and subscribe for more. So let's lift up a banner and dive into today's topic. Welcome back to our live stream. We are going to be, let me just I'm so sorry. This is where I'm working by myself, so you get what you get. Today we're discussing the biblical meaning of the color blue and how it shifts the spiritual atmosphere in worship. If you're joining live, let me know where you're watching from, and if you happen to be catching this later, do add to the chat because I'll be checking the chat even after the live stream is finished. But today we're going to be exploring how blue represents grace and mercy, revelation, prophecy, and the throne of God, and how this impacts our worship. Plus, I'm going to share how using blue worship flags in a church setting can shift the atmosphere. So, in color theory, blue is often associated with like calm and trust, depth, and the heavens. It is a peaceful, stabilizing effect and is used to encourage contemplation. This aligns with biblical themes. Blue represents heavenly authority, revelation, and divine presence. Jesus is the high priest. Think about like the sky and the sea. They're vast, they're deep, they're always drawing our eyes upwards. Now, that's the power of blue in worship. Now, if you were to visit my church on a given Sunday morning, you'd experience like a 4D worship experience with colored light panels, smoke machines, and kind of like the whole presentation. Now, on first glance, you might think that's vanity and showy. At least I know I did. I was super judgy about it when I first went to the church. And then when I got to know my pastor a little bit better, I asked him about it. I'm like, like what's with the showy worship? And he described it in Revelation, like Revelations 4, 1-6. And I actually want to read it to us. This is from the Passion Translation that I'm reading. Then suddenly, after I wrote these messages, I saw a heavenly portal open before me, and the same trumpet voice I heard speaking with me at the beginning broke the silence and said, "Ascend into this realm. I want to reveal to you what must happen after this." Instantly, I was taken into the spirit realm, and behold, I saw a heavenly throne set in a place and someone seated upon it. His appearance was sparkling like crystal and glowing like a carnelian gemstone. Surrounding the throne was a circle of green light like a rainbow, an emerald rainbow. Encircling the great throne were 24 thrones with elders in glistening white garments seated upon them, each wearing golden crown of victory, and pulsing from the throne were blinding flashes of light, crashes of thunder, and voices, and burning before the throne were 7 blazing torches, which represent the 7 spirits of God. And in front of the throne, there was a pavement like a crystal sea of glass. Now, when we think about worship, in our worship services, and if you were to visit my church and see all of this spectacle and think that it's showy, my pastor really explained that they intentionally said it that because that's what we experience. That's what we're going to experience in the throne room. There's flashes of color, that there's smoke, there's lightning, and there's a lot of activity. It's a 4D experience. So our church was actually intentionally using blue lighting during moments of prayer and reflection. It was there was something about that specific color in the worship. Now, why? So just because blue represents, it releases peace. It has a natural and calming effect on our minds. Psychologists say that blue lowers stress. This is in psychological journals. It lowers its stress. It slows your heart rate and it encourages focus, which is why it's often used in hospitals and corporate settings and even social media platforms. Now think about how blue connects to worship, and how we can take color theory that the world knows and how we connect it to worship. So when you see blue, your mind and spirit naturally tune in. It produces a clarity of focus. It invites a shift from the chaos to clarity, from distraction to devotion. Love that photo. Those are transformation flags. But that's why the sea and ocean, the sky and ocean remind us of something greater than ourselves, something vast, something eternal. So it's no coincidence that God's throne is described as sapphire blue in Ezekiel 126. It signifies and signals divine authority, revelation, and the presence of God. Blue is such a powerful color. Now imagine bringing that same shift into the worship setting with blue worship flags. Blue is actually one of our most popular colors in worship flags because it is such a rich, deep color. The movement of the blue fabric in worship isn't just like visually stunning, like these transformation flags you see on the screen. It actually ushers in peace, revelation, and a heavenly focus, to focus on us on the hearing the word of God. They represent prophetic, so it represents the voice of the Lord. So whether you're in prayer meetings or church services or personal worship, the color blue can realign our hearts to hear God. Love that. So let's break down what blue represents in scripture. One of the means is grace and mercy. We find that in Hebrews 4:16. It says, "Let us then approach the throne of God of grace with confidence, so that we might receive mercy and find grace to help us in our time of need." Blue reminds us of God's mercy and grace, the invitation to draw near to him without fear, to come bold to the throne. Imagine blue worship flags just waving the free flow of the worship of the flag. It's a visual reminder, not just to you, but if you're worshiping in a corporate setting, it's a visual reminder to the congregants and to the rest of the assembly that God's grace is covering the room. There's grace for it. Now, the throne of God also is represented by Ezekiel 126. It describes God's throne as appearing like sapphire, a deep blue gemstone. It's so stunning and beautiful. This represents the divine authority, the seat of power in heaven. So blue is like a power, it's a power color. When we use blue in worship, it signals the kingship of Jesus Christ in our midst. It causes us to surrender and to recognize his kingship, that he is the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords. Blue represents like prophecy and revelation. We get those from Revelation 19:10 and Daniel 2 and 21 to 22. So Revelation 9 and 10, it reminds us that the testimony of Jesus is the spirit of prophecy. And Daniel 2, 21, 22 speaks of God revealing hidden things and granting wisdom and understanding. It symbolizes the spirit of prophecy, revelation flowing from heaven, the throne of heaven, to us. And in a worship setting, so when a corporate worship setting, even or when you're doing personal worship on your own, in your home or wherever you do personal worship, blue can activate a prophetic atmosphere, stirring hearts to hear from God. So if you are actually struggling to hear from God and like, Lord, where are you in this? Maybe try worshiping with blue worship flags, and just kind of release the prophetic. And then, of course, Jesus, our high priest. Uh, Exodus 28:2 and then verse 31, it says that the high priest's robe in the Old Testament was blue. It's signifying Jesus as our ultimate high priest. He stands between the heavens and the earth, interceding for us, for me, for you. Blue in worship reflects his priestly role, reminding us to worship with reverence and awe. Love these flags. These are chosen. Love that photo. That's actually one of my oldest photos of chosen that I have in my photo library, taken probably about 13 years ago in California in the desert. Um, but blue in creation, we see blue is significant in creation. Psalm 19:1 says, "The heavens declare the glory of the God; the skies proclaim the work of His hands." So the sky itself is blue, daily reminder of God's vastness and glory. Worshiping with blue reminds us that our praise echoes creation itself. The prophetic shift in worship, uh, it means like color is prophetic. It's a language. And so when you bring blue worship flags into a church setting or into a corporate setting, it's more than just a visual. It releases a heavenly shift. It shifts the atmosphere towards peace and mercy. We talked about what some of these what the color means, the biblical meaning of the color. So it's shifting towards the peace and mercy, soothing the congregation. So everyone comes to church, yourself included, myself included. We go into church with sometimes with a lot of angst, and just being in the presence, just having that peace really wash over us. So sometimes it's words, but we can visually shift the atmosphere with this, with worship flags or with color banners, however it's used. But worship flags are so beautiful. I love to do it like that. It prepares hearts. It prepares hearts to receive the mercy, to receive peace. It's a prophetic insight. So we find that when the presence of God is at work, then more prophetic words, more people feel, understand, get revelation from the Spirit in worship. They'll see, they'll hear. Even if your church would not be where you wouldn't see or call it prophetic words, maybe you just get more insight, or you have like internal pictures that are released. And that's what we would call the prophetic word of the Lord, is when He releases His thoughts and speaks to us, and we communicate that. It's a call for intercession too, awakening like prayer warriors. So when you see worship begets worship, and it calls the prayer warriors forward to stand in the gap. When blue flags are raised, it's a signal of God's authority and an invitation into deeper worship. Blue is just such like a marvelous color. It is probably you can see my hair, probably need to redo it, but blue has been one of my favorite colors in for years. I've had blue in my hair for many years, and it's one of the most powerful colors that I find in worship. I find I reach toward blue worship flags. They're stunning, and they really visually draw the eye. Now, if I can just show you our website, I'd love to let you know that where you can get. We have a whole collection that you can take a look at. So if you go to shop and then shop by color and blue flags, you'll come to this page, and you can see all of the variety of worship flags that we have with blue in them. Some of them are single layer, some of them are double or triple layer. You can shop our worship flags because we want to be able to share with you and give you the tools that you need to worship in color and in movement. So, in conclusion, this is kind of a shorter live stream today, which is great. But how has God spoken to you through the color blue? If you have like a personal testimony, I would absolutely love to hear what your testimony is in regards to the colors, particularly blue, as we're talking about that. Share it in the chat. I'll take a look at that. And if you use worship flags, I challenge you to incorporate blue this week and watch for that shift. Now, if this teaching has blessed you, please like and subscribe and share the video so that we can keep spreading the message of creative worship. Now, next week on the Fan into the Flame live stream, I'll be joined by two passionate worshipers, one from Canada and one from the US, for a powerful conversation about our upcoming 5-day worship challenge, Worship in Spirit and in Truth. It starts March 3rd. You're going to get all of the details next week. What we're going to be talking about is how upcoming challenge will deepen your worship flag, or your worship. They were part of our challenge in the fall, and I just want to talk to them about their experience. It was so fabulous. It was It was a week-long challenge with 180 other worshipers in a we have a private Facebook group. There's ways for us to connect. There's live streams every day, and there's videos and emails just to really focus for a week on worship. So that's next week. I would really love it if you would join us. If you're ready to take your worship to the next level, you really don't want to miss it. Set your reminder and join us live. Oh, I've got to sneeze. And with that, I'm going to end the live stream. Thanks again for joining me. I really appreciate it. If you have joined us, it's been great. I see you, Anna, and I see you, Cindy, Riverside, Las Vegas. Thanks for joining us. Do you join us next time? Until then, just keep worshiping. Elevate your praise with worship flags. Bye for now.